Sunday. Happy race day. Oh my goodness, as usual, the street race at Chicago did not fail to provide entertainment, or at least to me it didn't. It always provides some sort of entertainment. A good laugh. It could something. Because it never fails, or at least the last 2 years now, that there will be rain. Somebody will go into a tire barrier. And or something crazy happens. And we kind of got a combo of all of that. We had rain. We had Kyle Larson in the tire barrier that got stuck. We had crazy happen. Where we got SVG taken out right after he won stage 1. As well as Alex Bowman getting into Bubba Wallace, and then Bubba Wallace retaliating on the cool down lap, basically. That cost him $50,000 later. We also had Daniel Suarez and Chase Elliott having their conflict on the race track and post-race incident, but it wasn't as, I guess, aggressive as, say, Bubba and Alex's. The street race always seems to bring out the best in everyone. Or should I say the worst? It's kind of like short track racing, except on a 2-mile road course. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. And just enjoyed sitting back and watching. I feel like, I don't know. I grew up with my grandma, sometimes in the summer. I don't know. Maybe you might be able to relate. So sometimes I'd come up, spend some time with my grandma in the summer, or when I was sick. And depending on how long I was sick, I would spend some time with my grandma. And, those midday, Price is Right, watch the little 30 minutes of news or whatever, chicken noodle soup, and ginger ale, all those things that make you feel better. And then you have to watch your soap opera. Sometimes I feel like NASCAR is like a soap opera. It's hilarious. Because sometimes these guys are worse than females on a soap opera. It's quite entertaining. And it's just, I also understand male pride, because I hurt the two men I love to death this week, myself, and I wasn't trying to. But I also know my 2 men, and I love them, and I don't want to put them in a situation where they have to hurt more to fix my car. So both of them were kind of sad and upset with me because I'm taking my car to the shop instead of thinking that I trust them to fix my car. But it's not that. It's not that I don't trust my two men to fix my car, because I do. I absolutely 100% trust my two men, my daddy and my husband, to fix my car. And it's not because I'm too prideful, but it's because I love my two men the way I love my two men, that I'm waiting to put my car in the shop this week to have them fix my car because of what needs to be done to fix it. So male pride is hard, and as well. So it's difficult sometimes for them to admit sometimes that they're wrong and we're right as females. But then in NASCAR, they're never going to admit that they're wrong. Literally. Because they're always going to think that they're pretty much in the right. I was shocked, though, that, Alex did come out and say they had every right to be mad. He got into him. He admitted that he got into him. He was very forthcoming, that they had every right to be angry with him. And he stood by that. Bubba did not deserve to be fined for the incident that happened afterwards. So good for I will say good for Alex for that, because he knows where he made his mistake, and he wasn't too prideful to admit that he made a mistake in that situation. So I was sad that we didn't get the full race because we had rain, and it was rain shortened. We have no lights. I mean, there's street lights, but no other lights. And not all of those streets had street lights. And of course, the Cup cars don't have headlights. So it was just insane. Just purely insane. And I don't know how Joey Han was able, or even how Alex Bowman was able to hold the two off, because Tyler Reddick was able to get around Joey to be able to do that. So we only got 58 of 75 laps in because of the darkness coming. So just insane. 100% insane. This was Alex's first victory in 80 races. His first thing was, he was embarrassed about getting into Bubba with trying to get his windshield wiper on, and he was missing the corner, and he was apologizing to Bubba Wallace and that whole team, and ruined their day. And then from there, he's like, I broke my back, had a brain injury, and he's like, we sucked ever since. And basically, you start to second guess if you're ever going to get a chance to win a race again. So it was just absolutely insane. 100%. SVG won stage 1. Joey Han won stage 2. And then, of course, we had Alex Bowman, who won the rain shortened one as it was. Tyler Reddick was second. Ty Gibbs was third. Joey Hand was fourth. Michael McDowell was fifth. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was sixth. Todd Gilliland. It was a good run for Todd. Seventh. William Byron, eighth. Kyle Busch, ninth. And 10th was Ryan Blaney. So a good run overall for a couple of drivers. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who just had a baby, really good run for him. Again, another really good run for Todd Gilliland. Kyle Busch, a pretty solid day for him. He needed one of those. Because he's not had too many of those. We hadn't heard a lot from William Byron since he's had his couple of wins. We hadn't really heard too terribly much from him. So it was a good solid day for him too. So had some good solid days for some drivers that needed some solid days. We had 5 caution flags for 19 laps. We had 9 lead changes among 6 drivers. Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Shane Van Gisbergen, Christopher Bell, Zane Smith, Corey Hand led a couple, and then of course Alex Bowman. I have to hand it off to Corey Hand for coming in as well. He did an amazing job. So hats off to him for coming in and doing so well as well. So SVG came in as being a huge favor to repeat, but sadly got caught up in the accident right there in stage 2, and it took him out immediately. We had issues coming off of pit road when they were trying to dry the track a little bit. Drivers making changes from slicks or wets to slicks. It was just, I don't know, interesting and fun and entertaining to watch. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that and what you took away from the Chicago race. Now, I will say NASCAR does have the option for a 3rd year at Chicago. It is wrote there in their contract. They have 6 months prior for it to be canceled. So the mayor looked like he was having a blast out there as well. So and enjoyed having everyone. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out if we have a year 3 Chicago street race. And if we do, will the 3rd time be the charm that we get all laps in for the Chicago street race? Because I'm still not sure if we will ever get that done completely. It's like you're holding it the 4th of July weekend, or right before or right after 4th of July, in Chicago. It's almost the rainy season up there, in the north. I feel like, and that sounds so weird to say, but I feel like that's the best way to put it. It's almost like the rainy season. They go away from having snow season to rainy season. It's the best way to put it. I have family in Chicago, I have family in Wisconsin, and I have family in Michigan. Literally, it goes from snow season to rain season and or tornado season, it seems like. So, you win some, you lose some. And usually, especially when it starts getting warm like that, that's when you're going to start losing some. And yes, they have rain tires and that's fabulous, but city streets, evidently we have not figured out in all this time proper drainage to keep them from piling up all the water. Who would have thunk it? Anyway, earlier this week, it was announced that Hailie Deegan and AM Racing for the Xfinity Series have parted ways. Deegan had joined the team at the beginning of her rookie season in Xfinity. The team had Joey Logano driving her place at Chicago. He finished 8th, giving the team the best results this year. Deegan posted a statement beginning of the season. I had a lot of excitement and hope in taking my next step in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It is something I've been working towards for years and always dreamed about. I worked hard to prepare for the season. After the team pursued me to drive their car, unfortunately, it has not turned out the way that I expected. There are several reasons within a race team as to why things do or do not work, but sadly, our goals are no longer aligned. So Deegan also stated that the focus is on getting back to being competitive, and that is all that matters to her. And that she is working as quickly as possible to find the best opportunity to get back to the track. So we'll have to wait and see how that all works out. Denny Hamlin talks about it at the track this week. They are not appealing Bubba Wallace's $50,000 fine that he was hit with post-race incident. So, and Bubba Wallace says he thinks it's the best thing that's happened. So I'm not sure about that. I don't know how to take that one, but those were his words. So go ahead, Bubba, if that's what you need to get things going right, then okay. That's what you need to do. I wouldn't want to be fined $50,000. That's a good student loan payment, personally. Anyway, they announced this week that Rodney Childers will be moving over to Spire in 2025 to become Corey LaJoie's crew chief for next year. They also have announced that next year Noah Gragson will be driving for Front Row Motorsports. So we have another seat that has been taken and know where Noah Gragson's going. And seeking more NASCAR cash and possible new dates, city leaders support Chicago street race. So the city leaders are warming to stock car racing through the loop, but they want more cash from NASCAR. It is set to conclude next year. Like I said, race on the downtown streets, the Windy City. It looks like Brian Hopkins, the alderman for the Chicago 2nd District, told the Chicago Times that he would want NASCAR to increase its financial outlay to the city if the event continues beyond 2025. Hopkins said a more accurate and specific picture of the race economic impact was needed, but he believes Chicago deserves greater compensation. Asked for comment, the NASCAR Chicago race released the statement for NBC Sports. NASCAR continues to invest in Chicago, including a historic investment of more than $50 million. Of our own capital in year one, in addition to our agreed upon terms with the Chicago Park District. We also agreed to an additional voluntary contribution of an additional $2 million to the city for both 2024 and 2025. Beyond these direct payments, we also contributed more than $2 million to the community to date, including nearly $400,000 to local community-based organizations during race week this year alone. So, it looks like the Chicago Tribune and other outlets report the city spent nearly $3.5 million on road work for last year's race. Mayor Brandon Johnson reached a deal with NASCAR on an additional voluntary contribution of $2 million by sanctioning bodies in both 2024 and 2025. For the 2024 race, NASCAR will also pay $550,000 to Chicago Park District plus $2 per ticket sold and 20% of the net sales from food, beverages, and merchandise. Next year, the amount rises to $605,000 to the Park District plus the share of ticket revenue and 25% of sales. Yeah, I mean, to me, they have, there's quite a bit of money that NASCAR is dumping into this. So it's, we'll have to wait and see. The contract between NASCAR and the Chicago Park District calls for the 2025 race weekend to be the 5th through the 6th. NASCAR made requests to extend the deal for 2026 and 2027 by providing written notice to Chicago Park District within 90 days following the prior event. So we'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. Because I don't know. We'll just have to wait. I'm not sure. But that is a lot of money that NASCAR has definitely poured in to that community. And ticket sales, beverage sales, just in general. So I guess we'll have to, like I said, wait, see how all that plays out. And see if we have a race beyond 2025 for Chicago. I don't know. But today we are at the Turkey Triangle, known as Pocono. The command to start engines is at 2:24, and the green flag is scheduled to wave around 2:35. Garages open at 11:30. Drivers meeting 1:25. Introductions of the drivers is at 1:45. National anthem 2:17. 160 laps, 400 miles on the 2.5 mile track. Stage 1 ends at lap 30. Stage 2, lap 95. It is on USA Today. So please keep that in mind. It is on USA. The race coverage will begin at 2 o'clock on USA MRN if you need to listen to it, or Sirius XM channel 90. It's going to be a high of 83 with a slight, only like 2 to 5% chance of rain, somewhere in there. Thank God it wasn't the monsoons that we were getting in Virginia the last 2 days. Seriously. Last time we were there, Denny Hamlin scored his track record 7th win after a late race duel with Kyle Larson. And that's a budding funness right there. That's a whole different ball game, the two of them. And saw Larson hit the wall and be displeased with how Hamlin raced him. Tyler Reddick finished second. Martin Truex Jr. Placed third. Larson ended up 20th. And I feel like this is partially where we got the issue between Larson and Denny Hamlin really started going. And it's just continued from here. Ty Gibbs is rolling off first. William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Josh Berry, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Zane Smith, and Joey Logano are your top 10. We have 15 Chevrolets, 14 Fords, and 8 Toyotas. I don't know of anyone going to the back yet, but if I do get word of anyone going to the rear, I will make a post and let y'all know. So happy Sunday, happy race day. It's still supposed to be quite warm on the East Coast this week. So if you're on the East Coast, stay cool, stay hydrated. The guys next week, like the 22nd, 23rd, and the 24th-ish, somewhere in that range, we'll be going down to ACC Media Day. So watch out for a whole bunch of ACC media stuff coming everyone's way. I'm super excited to see they're going to be kicking off all the things with college football for ACC. So they've got quite the crew, from what I understand, heading down. Darrell, Jay, I want to say Rob, Justice, maybe even Statman, if I remember correctly, and a couple other people, I think, as well. So we have quite the legacy maker group heading to the ACC. So if you do happen to have ACC Network, make sure that you are checking out that coming up the week of the 22nd. Make sure that you're checking out Legacy on Fire, as well as the Rob Johnson Show. He does that once a week as well. Darrell has one-on-ones happening as well. we have a lot of content. And like I said, football, college football is getting ready to start. And I hear there might be a new show in the workings. But my lips are sealed on that one until I get the all clear from the bosses on that one. But I'm pretty excited about that one myself. Personally, I am not involved in that one though. But I am excited to see how that one plays out. Because it shall be interesting. It really shall. So we have a lot of great content. So make sure you stay involved, like, subscribe, share, and I will see y'all back. I know that NASCAR is coming up to take a break here soon for the Olympics. We have 6 races left before playoffs. And the playoff bubble is getting tighter. So happy Sunday, happy race day, and I will see y'all soon.